NeXTSTEP is a discontinued object-oriented, multitasking operating system based on UNIX. It was developed by NeXTcomputer in the late 1980s and early 1990s and was initially used for its range of proprietary workstation computers such as the NeXTcube and later ported to several other computer architectures. Although relatively unsuccessful at the time, it attracted interest from computer scientists and researchers. It was used as the original platform for the development of the first App Store, the Electronic AppWrapper, the first commercial electronic software distribution catalog to collectively manage encryption and provide digital rights for apps and digital media. It was also the platform that created the first web browser by Tim Berners-Lee. After the purchase of NeXT by Apple, it became the source of the popular operating systems OS X, iOS, and now watchOS and tvOS. Many bundled OS X apps, such as TextEdit, Mail and Chess, are descendants of NeXTSTEP applications. Overview: NeXTSTEP is a combination of several parts, a UNIX operating system based on the Mac kernel, plus source code from BSD, display PostScript and a proprietary windowing engine, the Objective-C language and runtime, an object-oriented application layer, including several kits, development tools for the OO layers. NeXTSTEP is notable for having been a preeminent implementation of the latter three items. The toolkits offer considerable power, and are the canonical development system for all of the software on the machine. NeXTSTEP's user interface is considered to be refined and consistent. It introduced the idea of the dock and the shelf. NeXTSTEP also originated or innovated a large number of other GUI concepts which became common in other operating systems: 3D chiseled widgets, large full-color icons, system-wide drag and drop of a wide range of objects beyond file icons, system-wide piped services, real-time scrolling and window dragging, properties dialog boxes called inspectors, and window modification notices. The system is among the first general-purpose user interfaces to handle publishing color standards, transparency, sophisticated sound and music processing, advanced graphics primitives, internationalization, and modern typography, in a consistent manner across all applications. Additional kits were added to the product line to make the system more attractive. These include portable distributed objects, which allow easy remote invocation, and Enterprise Objects Framework, a powerful object relational database system. The kits made the system particularly interesting to custom application programmers, and NeXTSTEP had a long history in the financial programming community. History: a preview release of NeXTSTEP was shown with the launch of the NeXTcomputer on October 12, 1988. The first full release, NeXTSTEP 1.0, shipped on September 18, 1989. The last version, 3.3, was released in early 1995, by which time it ran on not only the Motorola 68000 family processors used in NeXT computers, but also on Intel x86, Sun SPARC, and HP PAR RISC-based systems. NeXTSTEP was later modified to separate the underlying operating system from the higher-level object libraries. The result was the OpenStep API, which ran on multiple underlying operating systems, including NeXT's own OpenStep, Windows NT and Sun Solaris. NeXTSTEP's legacy stands today in the form of its direct descendants, Apple's OS X and iOS operating systems. UNIX. From day one, the operating system of NeXTSTEP was built upon Mac BSD. It was built on 4.3 Bahamian dollars Tahoe. It changed to 4.3 Bahamian dollars Reno. It changed to 4.4 Bahamian dollars during Rhapsody. Legacy: the first web browser, World Wide Web, and the first ever App Store were both invented on the NeXTSTEP platform. Some features and keyboard shortcuts now commonly found in web browsers can be traced back to NeXTSTEP conventions. The basic layout options of HTML 1.0 and 2.0 are attributable to those features available in NeXT's text class. Features seen first on NeXTSTEP, the system-wide find buffer, the spinning weight cursor. In the 1990s, the pioneering PC games Wolfenstein 3D, Doom, Doom 2, and Quake were developed by id Software on Next machines. Other games based on the Doom engine such as Heretic and its sequel Hexen by Raven Software as well as Strife by Rogue Entertainment were also developed on Next hardware using its tools. Altsys made a NeXTSTEP application called Virtuoso, version 2 of which was ported to Mac OS and Windows to become Macromedia Freehand version 4. The modern notebook interface for Mathematica, and the advanced spreadsheet Lotus Improv, were developed using NeXTSTEP. The software that controlled MCI's friends and family calling plan program was developed using NeXTSTEP. About the time of the release of NeXTSTEP 3.2, NeXT partnered with Sun Microsystems to develop OpenStep. It is the product of an effort to separate the underlying operating system from the higher-level object libraries to create a cross-platform object-oriented API standard derived from NeXTSTEP. The OpenStep API targets multiple underlying operating systems, including NeXT's own OpenStep. Implementations of that standard were released for Sun's Solaris, Windows NT, and NeXT's version of the Mac kernel. NeXT's implementation is called OpenStep for Mac, and its first release superseded NeXTSTEP 3.3 on NeXT, Sun and Intel IA32 systems. Following an announcement on December 20, 1996, Apple Computer acquired NeXT on February 4, 1997 for $429 million. Based upon the OpenStep for Mac operating system, and developing the OpenStep API to become Cocoa, Apple created the basis of OS X, and eventually, in turn, of iOS. Apple purchased NeXT in 1996, to use its more advanced operating system to replace classic Mac OS, which Apple had been unable to modernize internally. Apple's OS X and iOS are direct descendants of NeXTSTEP, through the OpenStep lineage. A free software implementation of the OpenStep standard, NeXTSTEP, also exists. In popular culture, the anime series Serial Experiments Lain was influenced by NeXTSTEP in Mac OS. References may be found throughout the show and its affiliated media, most notably the slogan for the Lane PSX game, "Close the world, open the next." The interface of NeXTSTEP 3.3 made a brief appearance in the animated film Evangelion 2.0 You Can Advance, as Rizuko Akagi's workstation desktop. Release history: versions up to 4.1 are general releases. OpenStep 4.2 Pre-Release 2 is a bug fix release published by Apple and was supported for 5 years after its September 1997 release. See also, Bundle. Miller columns, the method of directory browsing that NeXTSTEP's file viewer used, OpenStep, the object-oriented application programming interface derived from NeXTSTEP, Window Maker, a window manager designed to emulate the NeXT GUI for the X Windows system, Previous, an emulator for NeXT hardware capable of running some versions of NeXTSTEP, NeXTSTEP, an open-source implementation of OpenStep. References. This article is based on material taken from the free online Dictionary of Computing prior to November 1, 2008 and incorporated under the relicensing terms of the GFDL, version 1.3 or later. External links: A complete guide to the confusing series of names applied to the system, NeXT at DMOZ, nextcomputers.org, video of Steve Jobs demoing NeXTSTEP Release 3 on YouTube. The NeXTSTEP Byte Magazine 14-03, Object-Oriented Programming with NeXTSTEP, http, www.connect.com IBM buys Sequent for $810 million.